And welcome, everybody, to Not One Fun. We were muted for a second. That's fine. I hope you had a great week. I know I did. It is Monday, y'all, and you know what that means. That's right. Improvisation. We are here to improv yet again on the channel. And we are here with the great... I don't even have to, give him, a boost. It's in his name. We are with the great Rafiki. Welcome in.
Hey,
How's it going?
how's it going?
Good.
Doing good.
Welcome. So, thank you so much for picking up the torch. We had a last-minute replacement today, so I'm glad you were able to make it on the show.
Hey, happy to help. And no, I know I have big shoes to fill in tonight, so I can do my best.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I'm here, you're good. Don't worry about it. I whatever guest we get on the show, their grandness comes out in spades because I'm sitting next to you. So you're gonna be fine. So yeah, today we are going to be doing some improvisation as we do usually on Mondays. And this is all brought to you by 1985 Games. You see the link above me right here. If you look below me, you'll see that we are using the deck of stories and using the code NAT1FUN. If you go to 1985 Games, we'll save you 10% off. But if you type in 1985 in chat, it'll give you a link that you can go to, and anything you buy or go and purchase through the website will actually come back, and some of it will kick back to NAT1FUN and help support the show and all the things that NAT1FUN does. So again, like I said, Rafiki, thank you for joining. If you are new to the show, we're gonna go over just kind of like what it is and how we run it and everything like that, and give you an idea of what to expect here in a second. Now, as I said before, we do use the deck of stories, which is right here. It is nice and pretty and kind of hard to focus in on. That's fine. Anyways, it's the deck of stories, and it comes in a nice little box like this. Really pretty box, actually. And this is a tool that we're going to use that we use in every Monday's games. But basically, it's a tool that allows you to write a legendary adventure in 15 minutes. At least that's what it says, right? But it's true. What happens is you can use each one of these cards, which is essentially just a narrative prompt. Something happens, something for a reason. And then it's up to you, the player or the DM, to fill in the gaps. And Rafiki, you are here to fill in the gaps with me today.
All right, well, let's get those gap filled.
Well, maybe we can reword.
Phrasing, right?
Cut the bud.
Is it the name 18+ show? Like,
yeah, go for it.
How careful should I be with phrasing?
No, you're good. Yeah, so we're already off to a good start, filling holes. And we're gonna cut over to the top-down cam, and I'm gonna kind of like explain the card deck real quick. All right, so welcome to my boss monster, Matt. All right, so here are the cards that we are going to be using, and it is the deck of stories, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look here, let me move this out of my face so it's not right in my face. Ugh. Zoom in just a little bit, maybe. Zoom. Will you zoom, please? Yeah, there you go. Oh, not there. There we go. So now we got a better idea of what we're doing. So as you can see on the cards, they have these letters up top, ORC. And that basically means beginning, middle, and end. And they all stand for something. And ORC, according to the rules that you get along with the deck, these are types of actions, meaning that the O stands for opening action, which is an idea to hook your audience into the adventure. R for rising action, which is a twist or of the unexpected that complicates the story. And then C, a climactic action, which is a confrontation that is the pinnacle of the story. Again, beginning, middle, end kind of thing. So when we start today's journey into the world, we are going to be using a card that at least has an O in the top there, the top section. And we are going to be giving Rafiki a bit of a lean into this. But before we do so, before we lean in, we talked a little bit beforehand. And what's great about this deck is that's going to play again. What's great about this deck is that you can use it in any TTRPG scenario. So it doesn't have to be Dungeons and Dragons specific. It doesn't have to be, you know, all the major titles. Matter of fact, it can be completely off the wall and completely your own thing, which is what I like to do here on the show, because it kind of shows that it is varied. You can do whatever you want with it. You're not just kind of pigeonholed into doing one thing. So with a bit of wording changing, you can make this into whatever you want. And Rafiki and I had a chat beforehand, and we are both kind of big fans of like space and sci-fi and stuff like that. And he also said he might be a little bit of a fan of steampunk. So we're going to mix a bit of it, and we're going to go space, sci-fi, steampunk. And that is going to be the TTRPG game for tonight, which is great because all of those things I adore. So we are off to already a good start. But as past guests have done prior to the game, Rafiki, I'm going to go ahead and have you create your character beforehand, before we even lead in with the cards. So,
All right.
What do you feel like playing? You are in space.
Oh.
It's sci-fi. It's steampunk. What kind of character would you want to play?
So, space sci-fi, ship captain or former ship captain, depending
Okay.
of where the story will take us to begin with. I think that would be an interesting approach.
Okay.
Um,
So space captain, we can go with that. And
Yeah.
then, of course, whether or not they're like still in service or, maybe for some reason they are no longer a captain.
Yeah.
What would you like to call your character? Also, would you like it to be like a human race or an alien race, or what would you like it to be?
You know what? We can always go with an alien race, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make up our own.
All right.
Or maybe even if one that's already made. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
our own.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect recently, so let's inspire from there a little bit.
Okay. What do you got?
Let's go with some Quarian, like Quarian adjacent.
Okay.
Like a budget Quarian, so we don't have any infringement on trademark.
Okay, we're gonna go with instead of Quarian, we're gonna call him we're gonna call him Lorian.
Lorian, yeah.
So Lorian, and then it is gonna be a Lorian, and you are a ship captain. All right. What would you like your name to be?
Naming a character is always something difficult, right? Even
Yeah.
like for just a one shot, it's like, okay, what do I name that character? If chat has any suggestion, I'm more than happy to take some, right?
So chat, we have a not a Quarian, we have a Lorian ship captain.
Yeah.
And if you are a fan of Mass Effect, then you understand the Quarians. They are kind of, I don't know, would you say like scientifically kind of based, more technologically advanced kind of based?
Mhm.
Oh no.
Peg leg Steve.
Oh no, just instantly off the bat. Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, we can go with whatever you want.
You know what? Let's call him, Peg leg Steve. I'm down with it. He's a Lorian with a mechanical leg.
Uh-huh. Peg leg Steve. Oh boy. Yes. All right, and as you can see above your head, you have Peg leg Steve, the Lorian ship captain. All right.
Damn right.
Okay. So, I would assume, since we're doing kind of like adjacent, would your race kind of require a a type of breathing apparatus to kind of work in where normal people, normal oxygen breathing individuals
Yeah,
would be able to
that would
survive.
be interesting. Like some kind of breathing apparatus, like for like oxygen that they can use in space.
Okay.
Uh,
What would you
Probably
say?
not a
What would you say?
substitute.
Yeah. What would you say it looks like? Instead of like what the actual Quarian helmet looks
So
like.
it probably look like those like old like gas mask, but with like more brass parts.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Sure.
I could see that.
So we can go with like the double respirator underneath,
Yep.
where it's like, brass and maybe some cogs turning to
Hmm.
symbolize that it's currently not deoxygenating the air essentially.
A little bit of filtration system in there.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. So now we go back down to the top down where we're going to go to the cards, and you are going to tell me when to stop because this is going to be a random draw from the card deck that we pick. And if we don't get an O or an R or a C, that's fine. We can just redraw. Oh, did it flip again? Cool. My phone auto flips, and it's awesome.
Hmm.
Totally doesn't screw everything up. Here we go.
People just need to read upside down. That's fine.
So basically, I'm gonna go through the deck like this, and you're gonna tell me when to stop. And if it doesn't land on an O, that's fine. We can just redraw. All right, ready? Here we
Alright.
go.
And stop.
Right there.
There you go.
All right. So here is the card. Again, if it's not O, no worries. And it's an O.
Hey.
Now, this is cool. Here we go. So as you can see, this is a card. I'm zooming a little bit.
That's gonna be a space western at this point with those lone windmill.
So a lone windmill turns in the distance. It rotates against the wind. Okay. So it says, is it cover for an illegal operation? Is an illusion? So you can see here on the next step, not only do they give you the prompt, but they also give you like a little bit of help of like, how can you turn that into something usable in the game? And so, for instance, again, a lone windmill turns in the distance. It rotates against the wind. It is cover for an illegal operation, or it is an illusion. So both of these kind of set the story into action, but also give you, like, as a DM, an idea of what might be behind it. So cool. Let's swap back over. All right. So with this, a lone windmill turns in the distance. It rotates against the wind. We are going to create something here. Okay, let's see. What can we say would be something like this? So, all right. Pegleg Steve, you are out on a mission. You've been out for quite some time, and you are returning to your base of operations. And your base of operations is a large there's like an asteroid belt, and several of the asteroids are inhabited with mining facilities. And these mining facilities are kind of backwater. They're like, where really hardworking individuals, kind of like a red collar type, jobs, and people really getting out there. They might be still like full of sweat and dirt and stuff like that from the work that they do, as they like maybe play cards at the table and stuff like that. And you are returning to that asteroid belt.
All right.
On your computer, you see that all the basics are of docking your ships and everything like that automatically comes up over the kind of projection screen there. And the projection screen itself is kind of like a flip down mechanism. So instead of like a projection screen, what happens is like two brass bars kind of drop down with whirling mechanisms on either side, and they whirl up with electricity sparks. And when those sparks finally reach a certain speed, an image kind of shoots between the two pieces of metal. And the image that comes up to you is of a very bored individual who's just sitting there that has large headphones like me on, but obviously more aviator style. And they are wearing like a leather cap, almost like an old aviator would. And they see that the screen comes on, and they're like, Unit 345, what is your designation?
Hello, it's Captain Pegleg Steve here from the Lefroy. Destination, the asteroid. Requesting permission to dock.
Pegleg Steed with the Bill of Froy. Give me your designation code, please.
1985420.
No, you didn't. Okay. 189420 accessing. Yep. All right, you're good to go. Come on in. And you see a large, like a huge planetoid in front of you. But as soon as he says, yeah, come on in, the projection of the planetoid kind of shimmers and shakes a little bit. And you see a small hole open up inside of the planetoid. And through that hole, you can now see the asteroid belt that is creating this projection around it. And you kind of take your ship in, and when you do, the planetoid, or the large planetoid projection closes back up behind you. And now in front of you, you see neon lights kind of shining up on the top of the station there, and it's kind of blinking in and out of service. Kind of one of the letters might be not lit up like the rest, and you can set your ship down to dock.
All right, will do. Engaging all the docking procedure, making sure that everything is in order. This is a bit of an old clunker. Things don't always go as you expect, so you have to be careful.
Yeah.
But if you know how to drive her, you can make it purr.
All right. So you pull in to your dock, and there is a guy in a spacesuit on the dock, and he is sitting in a lawn chair. And he has one kind of one of those little light sticks that you see at the airport, and he looks to be reading something, and he's just waving you in as you come in. And you dock on the station, and you can see him kind of like shake back and forth as you land, and he shuts off his light. And your the docking procedure is over, and your ship kind of opens up to the outside, and a bubble forms up over the connection between your ship and the space station.
All right, like making sure everything is in order, locking things down, opening the spacecraft, ready to step out.
Okay.
And get down to business.
So you step down from the ship, and you see the individual doesn't even pay you any mind as you walk through. He doesn't look up from his book or anything like that. And you make your way towards the space station. Or, well, less a space station and more an asteroid kind of location. Inside, you see that the walls are mostly made of rock. Some of it has been, surfaced with metal to kind of cover up any open areas and everything like that. But it's mostly made like naturally. Anything else you see is basically made from whirring gadgets. Steam is kind of like spraying up and through the hallways and everything like that as people walk by. You can hear the clank of shoes on metal grate as they walk kind of, just with like quick pace from one area to the next. And you are currently in what looks to be a kind of like a meeting room of sorts, not meeting room as like a business meeting room, but like a room that people can talk and you know, chat with. And there is a like a virtual board up on the wall with statistics and stuff.
All right. Just gonna take a quick look around, like any person of interest that I may have encountered before, and if not, I'm just gonna take a quick look at the board and see what's on there. Maybe things that are maybe interesting for my kind of business, whatever business this may be.
Sure. You kind of I guess you can take any business that might be paying for now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And yeah, you go up to the board and you don't see anybody familiar. It's mostly just like I said. It's just your average Joe workers and stuff like that. Um, and going up to the board, there is a woman standing there, an individual wearing overalls and a white shirt underneath, like a white tank top. She has curly, dark auburn hair that kind of comes down to her shoulders and like a just like a small cap on top of her head. She has a giant wrench that she has just sitting on her shoulder, and she's looking at the board as well.
Oh, just gonna give her an acknowledging nod from people that work hard in probably on the station and things like that. Howdy.
And she just like looks at you and rolls her eyes and walks away.
It's all right. I have a gas mask. People cannot see my expressions.
Yep. There you go. So she kind of walks away, and you look at the board that she was looking at, and it's a series of like a mission select board, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's more along the lines of like things that are happening around the sector that could possibly be worth somebody's time for payouts and such. Some of these have been placed up there with guaranteed payouts. Others of which are just kind of like random, like, hey, this is a job, but there's no telling whether or not what the payout might be. But they're put up there because sometimes people hit it rich. Sometimes people will like see a job and like, there's no money on it attached to it, and I'm good. But then someone else picks it up, and it happens to be like, some offbeat, like this was super, super important, and now this person is living rich. And there's so many jobs, job after job after job. Go mine this thing. Go bring this person back to the station. Go capture this person dead or alive. All this stuff, and all of them are paid. This many credits, this many credits,
Yeah.
this many credits. But there's one unmarked one that is strange. There is currently a mission or a job that is listed on the board, and all it says on it is space station out of control. Please help. And it says send your best.
Well, that looks interesting. Maybe a job for Peg like Steve.
So with Peg Leg Steve standing at the board.
If anything, Peg like Steve doesn't lack its confidence.
And he loves speaking in third person.
Damn right, that's gonna be a character trait now.
Okay. So, Peg Leg Steve, you see this on the board and it interests you. Do you take the job?
Peg like Steve takes the job.
So the panel underneath you is a series of physical keys that you must key in the selected job that you want, and you look up and it's 1337185185 or 1985, and you type in the code and it beeps at you, and when it beeps at you, the whirling cogs on it start to go, some steam kind of pops out of it, and then a ding happens. And when it dings, a little piece of plastic with like almost like a prized ball, the little ones that have like plastic rings and stuff like that you can get in like the quarter machines, it pops
Yeah.
out. It ding, and it rolls out. And when it rolls out, you can see a little piece of paper inside of it.
All right, pick it up. Open it, read it.
And it's your basic acknowledgement of service. So this is basically a contract of sorts that automatically generates with your call sign on it, 1985420, and and it automatically has your ship designation as well, the Billifroy.
Awesome. And I'm assuming it has like coordinate of like
Mm-hmm.
estimated destination.
Yeah, absolutely. So it also states that the creator of the signal is unknown. So creator is
Okay.
unknown, and excuse me, and it sends you a general coordinates of like the vicinity of the space station.
All right. Well, Pig like Steve will make sure that the fry's been probably refueled before journey. Get all supplies. I'm not sure what's gonna be there.
Oh, we're losing
No.
you. It's
Oh, you're losing me.
yeah, it's hold on. What part of the country are you in?
Uh, Canada, East Coast.
East Coast?
So,
Okay. Let's see if this helps.
oh,
There we go. We'll see if this helps. I changed this server on Discord to see if
yeah.
maybe
We'll see.
it'll be
Hopefully
better
my
here.
internet will not crap out.
Okay. So, yes, you would also suspect that it might be best to either bring someone along
Yeah.
or hire on like an android or somebody that might be able to help you in your journey. You believe this is way more than maybe a one-man job would pay for.
Right. Well, see, a machine took my left leg, so I don't trust him.
Makes
Right.
sense.
So I'm gonna probably look at a local bar, to see who may be competent, but not an absolute idiot. So
Nice. So you make your way away from the meetup area and
yeah.
the job board, and you make your way towards uh the leaky oil can. And the leaky oil can is just a straight up almost industrial excuse me. It's just a straight up like industrial what are those things called? The cargo containers.
Okay.
Basically, it's a big, huge series of cargo containers that are stacked one on top of another. Most of them yellow and paint scraped off of them. And you walk in, and there are a series of neon lights and everything like that. Most of which have steam just constantly running out of the walls. You don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's there. Um, and then the server is looks to be connected to the ceiling. And they are an android or a robot that is connected to the ceiling and kind of hangs down. And when they hang down, they eventually are like the torso of a humanoid with a long snout, and they kind of like zip from one side of the bar, serve some drinks, and zip to the other side of the bar and serve some drinks. And when you walk in, it has like an automated message go off, and it says, "Find your seat, please."
All right. I'm gonna take a look around. Any see that maybe not really like in a crowded area, but that I can have a good view of the general route.
Sure. You find a nice
Um,
corner of the room.
all right. I'm gonna go there like one boot down, one peg leg down, just
Okay. And then whenever you sit down, you can see that the room is full of individuals. I mean, at least two or three that are worthy of trying to ask. Um, you see an individual that is bald, has really dark skin, has some scarring, some like slight scarring on his scalp. You see that he's in almost like a jumper, kind of like a one-piece suit, not one-piece suit, but like one-piece. What is it called?
overall,
Overall
yeah, like
thing. Yeah, it's like.
very Fallout looking, right?
Right, exactly. But it's like rolled up in short sleeves so that you can see his like muscles. as he kind of just takes a drink at the bar. His suit is like a drab green, so it's like a dark, almost army green. And he has what looks to be like work boots on, and he has a drink at the bar. There's also a woman that is there. She, like you, she has some machine parts replacing some of her her limbs. She has a hand to which she is kind of just like rolling a coin across it, and you could hear like the clicking, clacking noise of the coin rolling across her fingers as she studies a book in front of her. And she is kind of leaned back in a stool that is made of like a barrel, like an old barrel and a wooden back. And she just kind of rolls the coin over the hand. And lastly, there is a nervous looking individual. This is another male, but it is an alien type who is kind of similar to oh freak, what are they called? Rafiki in Mass Effect, the scientist that you work with.
Oh, the Solarian.
Solarians. So it's a Gablarians, and the
Giblarians.
Gablarians in this,
Yeah.
they're very, very much so the same way. They're very scientific, and very knowledgeable in technology, but a little bit less combat driven, and more, more of the mind kind of thing. They can be the man behind the screen if you so wished it, sort of thing. But he is kind of like nervously, like he has a drink in front of him, and he has like two hands on the drink, and he's just like tapping the side of the drink glass with his hand as he kind of like he looks to be thinking about something.
Well, Peg Leg Steve is a man of action, but Peg Leg Steve can fly a ship,
Yeah.
but it's not the best with some more advanced machine, and we don't know what may be the source of that signal. Maybe just a machine takeover, maybe worse. Somebody with a brain would probably work. There's the muscle that can always breach a door, things like that. But he seems to be pretty deep in his drink, so the brain function may not be fully there. So I'm gonna go towards the Gabrielian.
The Gablarian. Yes.
Gabrielian, yeah.
So
Go.
yeah, you go ahead, walk up.
Walk up to him and just sit in front of him.
Can I help you?
Howdy.
Hi.
How goes it tonight?
Yeah. I lost count. What? Yeah, it's fine, I guess. I was calculating the 1 million numbers of pi, and I was somewhere in 700,500.
Well, Pegleg Steve is impressed by that.
Okay.
And Pegleg Steve would like to offer you the opportunity of a lifetime to go on an adventure and save the day.
Pegleg Steve, I assume, is you.
That's right, the one and only Pegleg Steve.
You keep saying your name a lot. Is this a name?
Are you making fun of Pegleg Steve's speech pattern?
No, more along the lines of I don't know who you are, and you keep acting like I do. Pegleg Steve, if you will, what is it that you want? My time is of great value.
Don't worry, Pegleg Steve will make it worth your time. And I just roll out the little piece of paper. So you see, Pegleg Steve didn't catch your name.
My name is Derek.
Eric.
Dirrik.
Derek. There's this station in distress. Now, Pegleg Steve can fly us there, but may not have the way to get in, and would require somebody with the brains. And Derek seems to have the brains.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can do that, but
Could make it worth your credits.
there you go. Now you're talking my language. How much are you wanting to pay?
Well, typically I go
I
50-50.
don't see the payment stub on this. Where's the payment?
Well, the payment is mostly in the glory,
Oh,
but whatever credits will be, it will be 50-50.
so you picked a non-paying job. Is that what I'm getting from this?
But think about the exposure.
You're paying me an exposure. Excellent. Now you're talking my language. All right, go ahead and roll a regular D20. So the way we do
All right.
rolls here in on Monday nights, basically we roll a D20 system, and the higher the number, the more likely it is to happen, and the lower, maybe the worst thing happens.
All right, let me get one of those beautiful diehard dice. D20. Absolutely a sponsor here. 17.
17. He goes, "Oh, I have been wanting to get my name out there. Uh,
Derek, it's a glorious name. But, until today, Peg Leg Steve did not know of Derek.
right. Well, maybe I can get a moniker like yours. What about Big Brain Derek or Smartass Derek or Technologically Advanced Derek? No, that one doesn't really roll off the tongue.
And it needs to, be like under like 5 syllables, right?
I have to work on it. Anyways, to answer your question, yes, I think I'll go with you. When do you plan on leaving?
Well, the froy is being refueled right now. And I'm probably going to get some food. But after
And-
that, Peg Leg Steve and Big Brain Derek can go on an adventure.
You see his eyes kind of light up. Oh, okay. I'm down now. Well then, while you prepare, I will prepare, and I will bring my materials if you don't mind.
Fantastic. Meet Peg Leg Steve at the port.
Will do. And he's like about to leave. He's kind of like already taking a few steps out and turns around. He's like, what ship is yours again?
The Lefroy.
Ah, the Billifroy. Okay, thank you. And he just kind of leaves the room, and you can see him whispering, Big Brain Derek. Big Brain Derek. I like it. Okay. So
That's right. Being paid exposure like everybody wants to.
So what do you okay, so what are you doing now?
So, I already set up my ship to be refueled.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know what kind of, tools and weaponry I may have already.
Well, you surely can come up with it yourself because you are a ship captain. You could tell me what kind of stuff you'd have on you. What do you think?
Alright. So, I, probably it's mainly like some type of revolver type of thing,
Mhm.
just, pistol. You know, it's more or less a pulse rifle, but, looks like no timey revolver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and what else could I have that would be interesting? I think that'd be my main, weapon
Yeah,
per se.
you're old trusty for
Yeah,
sure.
old trusty.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Besides
so
that,
you got
probably
you kind of have like your sidearm that you carry around at all times. What does we never really kind of went over outside of your leg. What
Yeah.
does Peg Leg Steve actually look like?
So Peg Leg Steve is, as like that we mentioned that he has like that gas mask
Yeah.
looking configuration. Uh, it's mostly covered like some sort of like leather suit that doesn't cover his entire body, with his finger and things like that. It's really looks very patchwork, uh, but still try to be presentable.
Sure.
After all, Peg Leg Steve is a captain. Um, as a little hat that he just leave it on the ship. He doesn't wear in public because even if Peg Leg Steve does have a strong opinion of himself, he knows that it looks a bit ridiculous, but he wears it proudly on the ship. And besides that, he has his left leg Up to the knee is entirely like a mechanical peg leg,
Right.
made with gear and like an adjustable piston, depending of where he steps.
Like it. I love it. Yes. So the peg leg is almost like a pogo stick, but
Pretty much.
a workable pogo stick that functions as like a shock absorber.
That's right. And if you need to kick the door down, you just rest the peg leg against it and just pressure it and push it.
Activate it. Very cool. Yes, very cool. So it could be a weapon if needed.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So Peg Leg Steve, you find yourself in good company, somebody who is willing to work for exposure, which is always, you're always going to get the best type of people with that.
That's right.
And then you are pretty much prepared. You have there's like a comm system over the thing.
Mhm.
And you hear the very, very bored individual again saying, Bill of Freud, 1985, 420, your ship is prepared and refueled.
All right. Well, Peg Leg Steve is ready for adventure, and hope that Big Brain Derek will show up on time. That would be unfortunate, if Big Brain Derek get lost on the way to the docking.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so you make your way there, and lo and behold, Derek is there before you. And he is just kind of sitting there waiting at the dock, kind of looking around nervously, his hands kind of just kind of shifting in front of his chest, like so, and as he looks around. And he has like a bag next to him.
Big Brain Derek, ready to go?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Sorry, you said big brain first and caught me off guard. But yes, of course. Yes, I'm ready to go. Big brain Derek is prepared to leave.
Fantastic. Depending on how things go, you can also go as Derek the Brave, Derek the Smart,
Oh,
you know,
I like all of these.
Derek the Hero.
I'm going to have to do an A B group and see what people might like better.
Word Cloud.
Right, right.
All right,
Well,
well,
are we off then?
yeah, welcome to the Lefroy. No, she's an old lady, but she flies well. Just don't pay attention to the noise.
Oh, and he kind of looks up and he looks up and when he does, like a piece of metal like falls off the top and like clings to the ground next to him, and he's like, "Do you need that piece?"
It came with extra piece, just like an IKEA table.
Ah, yes, the people of IKEA they
Yeah,
tend to
they do make ship with extra piece.
ships with extra pieces. That's correct. Um, okay, I'm prepared. Do I have a bunk? I assume.
Yeah, yeah. You have
Would
a
you
bunk.
mind showing me to my quarters?
Yeah. I'm gonna, I'm usually on this ship by myself, so quarters are not necessarily large by any means, but something could probably figure out, like if I push like a few crates away and and
Okay.
put some minor padding.
So you make your way through like the hallways and stuff like that, like the kind of skinnier hallways, like one person can fit through
Mhm.
at a time, kind of sort of thing. And you do find your way to a bunk. What does the bunks here, or what does the rooms here, look like on the Bill of Roy?
So, Pegs like Steve bunk is typically like more those, I'd say like standing up pod, but slightly, with
The lean to it.
a little lean to it, so that you can get some rest, but without, taking too much space as well. And in a more cargo area, there's probably like a little silo thing that could be double as an extra bunk if needed.
Okay.
More on the horizontal type of build.
Okay. So he kind of like he sits there like looking and kind of regretting his decision and drops his bag and he goes, "Where's the latrine?"
And a train. Oh yes, you need that. Typically, Big Leg Steve just connect his suit to the latrine.
Yes.
Well, there's a tube there.
He looks down. How dignifying. Okay, thank you. I assume you
Yeah,
will let me know when we are approaching our
it's
designation.
it's a very Lorien design, very practical for Lorien, but may not be for other
Gablarians.
aliens.
Yeah, Gablarians.
Brilliant.
They yes. Anyways. That is fine. What you have is suitable for the time being. I assume we are not going to be there long.
I'm gonna look at the coordinate. Probably not. Probably not. It's no. The Freud can fly very fast. Just what did you have for lunch?
Oh. You look at him, he's like, I had Gablok pasta.
Okay. So I'm assuming that Big Brain Steve is capable of IG maneuver.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. That lunch should stay.
Okay. He's like, oh boy. All right. Well, like I said, if you know the destination, just let me know when we are arriving and I will take
Uh,
it from there.
all right. Gonna go into the cockpit, punch in the keys for quick guidelines over my destination. Probably put some on autopilot. We
You're
have technology now.
Yep. All of the systems are a go. You see your
Yeah.
little gauge that is on your dashboard, which is essentially just a little metal ball within a liquid, and
Mhm.
the liquid has filled up so that the ball kind of reaches the top, and you're like, okay, yeah, fuel is good to go.
Mhm.
And you hear over your intercoms yet again as it screeches in. You hear like a bit of feedback that hurts your ear for a second, and then you hear, Villafroy, you're good to go. If you want to take off now, your designation has been approved, and you can leave whenever you want.
Maybe I should have hired that person. That person needs to be like probably go out of the house. Seems to be full of life. They're not living their best dreams.
Your intercom is still on, Villafroy.
Oh, I'm just gonna acknowledge. I'm just gonna turn it off and just fucking bail.
Okay. So the engines come to life as almost like like an old vehicle where it like and like a blowback or something like that happens. A bit of dark matter comes out of the back as the engine alights. Um, you have like a pair of dice hanging from the cockpit window there,
Yeah,
and you kind of turn a hard turn and head towards the exit of the planetoid illusion that surrounds the station.
fantastic. All right,
You
put
put
the
in
first one.
sorry, you put in the coordinates for your destination, which seems to be in a decent range. It looks like you'll be traveling for like a few days before arriving, but nothing horrible. And then you set course. You hit a few buttons, you pull a few levers, and you grab a lever that is one of those like pull down levers. You grab it and you pull it down hard, and when you do, sparks kind of light up and shoot out around the ship, and the sparks light around the ship until they hit the engine, and when they do, it ignites some sort of fuel that sends the ship into overdrive, and your ship hits light speed easily.
Awesome. So we should be there in a few days. Not too, no, nothing to worry about. Big brained Steve. Uh, does your species goes into stasis sometime, or you
Not
just stay awake?
particularly. I do sleep, but maybe 1 or 2 hours a night.
All right. Well, in that case, for a few hours, Big Brain Steve could probably play some cards, get to know each other.
Cards is not really my game. I prefer to study and to make sure that this job goes well. Are there any details that you may have that might be able to benefit myself being here?
Good question. I'm gonna look at my mission log.
Yeah,
Uh,
you pull up.
any additional detail that was
You,
pulled?
yeah, pull up a mission log and roll a d20.
That is a 13.
13. Okay, that's not too bad. So you pull up the mission log, and one detail that sticks out to you that wasn't in the log at the station where you were at,
Mhm.
um, it kind of makes itself known, and it is not by the author, but by a third party that kind of maybe either tried to go
Mhm.
there themselves or maybe were passerbys to the station. And it's almost like a comment under a video, if you will. It's somebody else's information, but you get third party information. And what it says is that the station is spinning at a strange angle. And the reason it says that is because space stations usually orbit a location. They are orbiting a large planet. They're orbiting a any kind of certain space object that they can orbit, and that is what the space station usually does. But this one, for some reason, is going in the opposite direction of the planet's gravitational drift.
Okay, that's interesting. Good to know. And I'm gonna bring that information to Big Brain Steve. So, Big Brain Derek, we're just one person now.
Yes, it is. Big
We're like
brain, peg
we
leg.
over the last hour we became such a friend that we're one person. Big Brain Derek, Pancake
Yes.
Steve has a question for you.
What is it?
What would make a station spin the other way?
What do you mean spin the other way?
Wow, Big Brain Derek know like how a station go with the gravity and like the orbit of the planet or
Correct.
massive objects. Now, what would push a station to go the other way?
Well, if I don't know if things are kind of backwards, basically, it would have to be some sort of incorrect mixture in their duplicitor engines um, that would cause it. But I don't know. That would be a very rare occasion, and that doesn't happen on accident or even. It would have to be sabotage or something. The engines for space stations out in this sector are made to um, basically be uh, automatically correcting in form. If anything like that was to ever happen, they would automatically shift and correct themselves. But if it's continuously doing it, that means someone has overridden the safety protocols.
So Big Brain Derek is telling me possible pirates.
It could be pirates. It could be anything. But I don't know why they would want to assault a space station. What's so special about this space station?
Now, Dan, was there any like name of the station? Would I know anything about the sector, things like that from my captaincy years?
Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and roll to recall from your captain's years.
15.
Ooh, okay, cool. So you recall a station out in this sector, and that is Space Station Reluctant. And Space Station Reluctant, um, excuse, excuse me, dinner. Making me burp. Space Station Reluctant is out there in this sector, and you recall that it was a forward operating base for a race of individuals that were currently in war with another race of
Okay.
individuals, a race of aliens, of course. And the aliens that ran the station were of peaceful nature at one point, but due to the fact that they were left no choice, they turned it into a forward operating base and were absolutely kind of using it as a jump point from one sector to another.
Okay. So the fact that, it's spinning in the other direction, either they're trying to do some weird maneuver, which I doubt because otherwise they would not have sent a signal. So most likely some enemy takeover, pirate takeover. or rogue AI.
This all seems
Alright.
plausible.
Alright, well, Peg Leg Steve count on Big Brain Derek to be able to, crack the code and get us into that station.
With
Should be able to.
ease.
I like the confidence. It looks good on you.
I guess I didn't get the name Big Brain Derek for nothing.
No, somebody gave it to you because you have a big brain.
Thank you. He kind of like, aw, shucks.
Alright, well, time to get some rest. I have
Hmm.
a long way to go.
I'll do research and put in the numbers.
Alright, so I'm gonna go into, some stasis because Lauren probably, requires a bit more sleep than Blarian.
Sure.
You know,
So
there.
yeah, you go into your sleep. What does it look like as a steampunk kind of visual? What does it look like when you kind of put yourself in hypersleep?
So it's probably a very like a glass tube
Mm-hmm.
that it create like its own biome inside, so that Peggy Steve can, for a moment, like just relieve his visual spacesuit just a little bit, just recycle the air in it. That'd probably be it, and just like some new oxygen has
Awesome.
been decontaminated, pumping in.
Awesome. So it's kind of like a larger helmet, but it's like all
Mhm.
encompassing, so that
Yeah,
your not only your face but your like whole body can breathe
yeah.
your poisonous air that other people cannot. And you are put to sleep. Um, about well, you don't know. At some point later, you awake to a knock on your glass. As Derek is standing outside of your glass, and he kind of looks worried.
I'm gonna put my suit on, make sure that everything is tight and secure before uh, ejecting the uh, air inside my tube and get out.
Okay.
What's going on, Big Brain Derek?
I believe we arrived, but moments ago, and well, look for yourself.
I'm gonna go look outside the window, which is a safety hazard on a spaceship, but they keep putting that in sci-fi for some reason.
It's okay. All right, let's talk. Let's talk projectors. Okay. Let's talk cameras on the outside of
Yeah.
ships. Okay, that look like
Windows are a design
windows.
flaw.
I like that argument. Okay, sorry. Never thought about it. So anyways, you check your window, which has cracks in it.
Yeah.
No. You check your window, and outside in the distance, you can see the space station. And the space station looks to be like glitching around. It is spinning in the opposite direction. It should be spinning with the planetoid, and the planet is rotating. You can see the clouds, which are like reddish hue, red and black kind of clouds that spin around. But they are going counterclockwise, and the ship is headed in a clockwise fashion. The space station. Um, and the space station, not only is it like spinning in the wrong direction, you can see it is glitching out, and there are sparks flying from it. Like, electrical charges that dissipate in space.
All right, Big Brain Steve. Hope you didn't have a big breakfast this morning,
Uh-oh.
because it's gonna be a rubble here. Gonna try to calculate the approach,
Uh-huh.
dock us there so that you can open the door.
Okay. You lead the way, I guess.
All right, so I'm gonna do my little calculation. Trying to wonder, like, should I like go the opposite way and try to catch it around? But that may take too much time. If I try to match its speed, it will probably be working a bit hard on the engine, but maybe possible. Depending on how far I am in the approach.
Right.
So I think that I'm gonna go with that approach and just try to match its speed as much as possible until I manage to dock.
Okay, so this one's a rough one. You're going to have to manage to dock while it is spinning out of control, basically.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll a d20, and we'll see how well that goes.
18.
You
I'm
are
on
on
fucking roll tonight.
you are on fire.
And watch my luck. Next time I play, it's gonna be like just garbage.
You are on fire. That's great though. It kind of builds to you being a great captain. So you match speed with the turning central ring that wraps around the space station, and it glitches around too. So you have to time when you believe one of the glitches is going to happen, and then immediately go and hit that docking port. And of course, Pegleg Steve ain't no amateur, and you await for it to click, and then suddenly you hit that thruster and it juts you into the space station, causing the whole shit to rumble and shake back and forth. And you see Derek kind of drop to the ground and are we alive?
Begley Steve can confirm. That is a success.
Oh gosh. And he
Yes.
goes, I'm
Big
sorry,
brain, same time to work.
I lost my lunch.
Well, damn. Time to take out the space Roomba.
An automated system, as you press a button, a small little Roomba comes by and cleans up the mess. And you pick up where you dock, and when you do, a tendril kind of reaches out towards the ship and latches onto you to kind of keep you steady. And your docking bay opens. And inside of the docking bay, you can see the lights are flickering on and off, and that the Gablarian also has to wear a spacesuit due to the air conditions here are unlivable, obviously. And so he kind of walks forward. He's like, I think we're in. Where to?
All right. Follow me, Big Brain Steve. One peg leg at a time.
Okay.
I'm gonna take point, just making sure that, Big Brain there doesn't, dies within the first 5 seconds, because that'd be awkward.
Yeah.
Taking point, making sure like station is clear, there is no visible threat, and proceed like in first hallway, and so on until can find something of interest, any access point, or any indication of the schematic of the station, because I'm not familiar with it.
So
I'm just hoping for like, you are here.
so very much in You Are Here fashion, I guess. You could say that with since you chose Derek to be your companion, you basically have a good idea of what is wrong with the ship, and so you would probably head towards the what did I say? The dual Dublarian, I don't the Matrix, the Dublarian Matrix engine, something like that. You're going towards the Dublarian Matrix engine. We'll say that for sure now that
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Sure. Fix it both.
The Dublarian Matrix engine. And of course, that is the engine that keeps the station rotating the correct way. And he goes, I believe the engine room is in this direction.
All right, Big Brain Steve. It's gonna be your time to shine.
And he kind of looks over and he's like, didn't expect that. And he points at the ground kind of far off down the hallway. And there are a number of bodies on the ground.
Pegleg Steve would like to investigate.
And he kind of like, be careful. And then you go over there to investigate the bodies. And the bodies are humanoid, and they look to be in the shape of the peaceful race of aliens that ran the station to begin with. They are in regular spacefaring outfits, not the suits that you currently wear for going outside in space. And yeah, they are just lying on the ground, of course, cold due to the oxygen leak and everything like that.
All right. Any sign of what may have killed them?
Roll a d20.
14. That's
14.
Yeah.
So with that, you can determine that there are no laser burns. There are no entry wounds. Nothing like that. It looks like asphyxiation.
So, natural causes.
Natural
Alright.
my ass. What happened
Well,
here?
lack of oxygen, and death from that is natural.
Well, maybe.
So, what caused the lack of oxygen? That's the real.
Well, I assume it's the giant holes in the side of the ship.
See, that's why I'm paying you, Big Brain Steve.
You're not
For your
paying
keen
me.
observers.
You're not paying me anything.
I'm paying you adventure and exposure.
You're right. You are.
And
I need it.
maybe it's also in friendship.
Well, we'll have to see. And he kind of just says it like fun, kind of jarring, back and forth between friends. And he goes, the engine room's this way. And he just walks down a hallway.
All right, I'll gotta go with
You
Derek.
start walking down the hallway, and as you do, a large arc of electricity bursts through one of the walls and sends like a piece of metal like shards like flying and slamming into the wall, sending Derek kind of reeling backwards onto his back, and he's
Big Brain Derek, okay?
yeah, yes, the entrance to the engine room is right there.
All right. I'm gonna peek through just to see if that was malfunction or somebody just shooting a laser beam at us.
You
Just
look,
making sure.
and the Dublerian Matrix engine is arcing hard. There is an arc of lightning, essentially, or an arc of electricity that is jumping from one piece of the engine to the other every 10 seconds, almost in a 10-second beat. So it'd be like arc, 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 and then 10 seconds later, arc, 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 arc.
Well, Derek, I hope that you brought your rubber underwear. 'Cause
He's like, I might need new underwear after this for sure.
I'm gonna give a quick look to see any way that you can get to the control panel from here, or
I might be
without.
able to.
All right.
And he kind of looks in the room. He's like, that arc looks dangerous, though.
Could be. You should need find a way to get it grounded somewhere. If it's something that's gonna redirect the lightning somewhere. Any exposed long metal wire that one could possibly use if it goes
Yeah.
there, it's gonna go and shoot through.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can rip off one of the wall panels in the hallway, and
I don't need it.
there is just a bunch of wiring and copper piping and stuff like that runs through the ship.
Ship has extra parts. They're gonna be fine. I'm gonna use that to Jimmy Relix some
Got
kind of lightning rod, if it instead of going towards Derek,
Yeah.
because he's probably not wearing his rubber underwear.
Sure.
It's gonna go hit that and discharge somewhere else.
Okay. So you are attempting to kind of protect Derek during his kind of hacking into the system and trying to figure out what happened. So Derek sees that you're doing this, and he's like, okay, well, I guess we have one good shot at this. If you could redirect that lightning while I'm doing this, please, that would be great.
All right.
Okay.
Derek.
Roll that D20.
Oh, that's not as good. That's an 8.
What? Why now? Derek's life is on the line.
I know, right?
No, Derek. Okay, so with an 8, you kind of reach up there and you gain an arc of lightning onto the rod, but before you can redirect the lightning, it comes back to you and arcs at you. And
right.
Roll a D20 and add 8, and that is going to be your HP.
That is a 12.
12 plus 8, so
20,
dirty
yeah.
20. So you have 20 HP. And this lightning You can do 3d6 damage for a total of 15 points of damage. Holy hell, that's a good roll.
Damn.
So the lightning arcs and hits you hard and sends you kind of reeling back. And he goes over to you and he says, Peg like Steve, are you okay?
I'm all shook up, but I'm okay.
Are you sure we can do this?
All you need to do is believe, Derek. And if we don't succeed, well, at least we're gonna go down in flame.
He goes, I don't want to go down in flame.
But then we better succeed.
I guess I can see
I believe in you.
your ways.
Big Lake Steve, believe in you. Just Big Brain Derek.
As you
Believe in
say,
the
with like
brain.
smoke kind of coming up off your hair, or off the top of your little mask thingy on. And he's like, okay, well, if you're okay, and he kind of pulls you up. He's like, here, and he takes a small vial out of his pack and puts it inside of a like a hyper needle, and like hits you on the corner of your like the outfit, and the outfit has like a little hole where all these hyper needles are made to be able to go through. And he gives you 3 HP back.
Feel much better now.
All right. Well,
And I'm gonna use my mechanical peg leg to like create like a ground in the station, so that if lightning arc through it, it's gonna go in the ground.
no, I like it. Okay. This time roll a d20 with advantage with that one.
All right. So that advantage did not do anything because I rolled 211.
Okay, but I mean, it's better than what we had before.
Yep, much better.
Okay, with that, you give Derek enough time, and Derek starts to get into the system to try and reverse the Dublerian Matrix engine. When he is hacking into the Dublerian and Matrix engine, a series of cogs and wheels and everything like that start moving again, and 2 metal pieces flick down from the ceiling as an electric charge kind of earns through there, and another image pops up on the screen, and it is a friendly alien again. And this time it is someone that is on the screen and says, well, if you're listening to this, we're probably already all gone. This is a forward operating base for the war of tribe. And we won't stand for any more losses of life. If I stop the forward operating base now, perhaps our people will stop the fight and the Krillondos. You can see I'm really good at making names. Sorry. The Krillondos will give up the fight as well. I am here to sacrifice our own ship, and I'm sorry for what I've done. Please, unless the war is over, do not reverse the engines. I've set them to regenerate the reversal procedure every time the automatic correction procedure goes through. And you hear like an explosion in the background of the recording, and he goes, goodbye. And again, I'm sorry. And like an explosion happens, and the kind of thing goes away.
What a plot twist. Didn't expect that. Well, Big Brain Derek,
Yes?
looks like our mission changed.
What do we do?
We run like hell and let this thing crash to the ground.
Okay. If you say so.
I'm gonna unjam my peg leg from the ground.
Yep.
And with my friend, Derek, we're gonna run like hell to the Lefroy and dock back, and maybe give it a nudge so that the station will just burn into the planet atmosphere. I don't know if it's a gas giant or something
Yeah,
underneath.
yeah, it could be a gas giant. So as Derek kind of releases his grasp, his digital grasp of the engines, something happens, and a clicking noise kind of starts to tick. And he's like, what's that noise? And
I think.
you hear automated defense systems activated.
Well, Derek, looks like they engaged the grandpa clock procedure. We
That's
better run.
not good. And you hear like the sounds, the whirrings of like inside the walls, some mechanical items going off, and suddenly a turret comes down from the ceiling and drops down and takes aim at both you and Derek.
All right, gonna take my trusty revolver and try to shoot it off there.
Okay, go for it.
14.
Ooh, 14. Okay, and that beats my 2. So you take the revolver and poof, you shoot off one of the barrels on the side of it, causing it to spin to one side. And you note that this is a good time to run because it's about to turn right back around and start shooting.
Well, hope that Derek did not skip leg day because it's time to run.
Derek is already halfway down the hallway as you shoot. No, he's just outside the door as you take your shot and starts to run.
All right.
Run for your life!
I'm gonna run along with Derek, and in my head it's all in slow motion because I like cinematic things.
Sure, of course. Yeah, as this is happening, panels are popping off of walls and small miniature mini laser guns are popping out and starts to shoot at both you and Derek as you run towards your ship. The first blast will kind of burn into your side and do 6 points of damage to you.
All right. I think I'm still good thanks to Derek's
Yeah.
Andy potion.
Yep. And then Derek actually is okay. Derek doesn't take a hit. The blasts go over his head. Matter of fact, you see one coming and you jump in the way of it to take the hit. That's what caused you to take the burn there. And he doesn't take a notice of it because he's like running in front of you and he's stumbling over his legs and he's like like crawling on the floor on all fours for a moment, and then you pick him up and continue to run. And you jump into the side of your ship. And undock. The undocking procedure is very haphazard as you like rip some of the docking bay along with your ship. And when you do, the blasts are hitting the side of the ship, and you can see the shields kind of activating by themselves. You hear like dong, 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 as these strikes against your shield hit. Let's get out of here!
All right. Putting thruster in maximum capacity and just getting out of here as quickly as possible.
The space station continues to fire on you as the system kind of, you pulling levers and you're pushing buttons and everything like that, and then you take that big lever and pull down, and it locks into place, and electricity shoots through the ship, around the ship, and again ignites that engine, and you see Derek was definitely not ready for it as he goes flying backwards and slams into the wall behind him, and it knocks him completely unconscious. He's out cold. And from there, you return back to the station, and you kind of, Derek is still not to the best of his health. He's still woozy after a few days after taking such a hard hit to the head. And you are with him in the medical bay. You take him to the medical bay of the asteroid field. And he awakes to you kind of by his side, not necessarily by his side like a lover, more like, of course, by his side like a friend who comes to visit every once in a while to make sure that he's all right. And he wakes up and he's, oh, Peg like Steve?
Big Brain Derek, we made it. we're goddamn heroes. Well, not really, but we made it.
At least we didn't start a war. And he looks at you and he goes, ah, did I get any exposure? Did you
Oh,
you
yeah.
post anything on space Twitter?
Yeah, you're kind of it. The space Twitter like kind of went viral.
That's good. That's good. At least that. And he goes, are you still looking for somebody to work with?
Not really, especially right now. I have along with me, first mate Derek.
And he goes, what? Really?
Damn right. You first mate Derek, Peg like Steve, first mate.
And he goes, proud to serve. And he kind of just falls unconscious again from whatever pain he's in or whatever. And as he falls unconscious, you kind of either, take a bite of the food you had in your hand, or maybe the drink you had in your hand, or maybe a cigar that you're smoking, something, as the camera pans out and we finish a journey or an adventure set off by Pegleg Steve, the Lorian ship captain.
Yep.
And there we go. And just like that, we have a short story.
Damn right.
So
we're goddamn heroes.
that was great. I loved it. It was very space western, space, what is it called? Steampunkish kind of thing. There was a bit of a twist in it. It wasn't like, nefarious reasons of why it happened. And, there was, the instance is like, should we turn this off? Should we, or should we leave it going? And like you said, kind of end the, help end the war.
Hope for the best, right?
Hope for the best kind of thing. So it gave you kind of a bit of a choice and stuff. So I want to say that all came from a card that stated, a lone windmill turns in the distance and it rotates against the wind. So we took that and we made it into a space station that was rotating the wrong direction around a planet. And there was a reason why. And we figured it out all in about an hour's time.
Yeah.
I think that was hella fun. What do you think?
I mean, I had a blast. So
that's great. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I was laughing. I tried to get like a little bit more like serious and emotional at the end and everything like that to set off like the running away sequence kind of thing. And it was cool. I think we played it out well. Jolly and Hoopla looks like they had a good time in chat. Man, I had a blast. So everybody, this is Rafiki of the Great Rafiki on Twitter. What are you in and where can they find you?
Well, I'm not on very many places on the internet. I am typically streaming currently every Thursday on the GR channel. We do TTRPG stream and various charity TTRPG events. That's pretty much most of my gig. Other than that, for my own personal stuff, I do compose music under the production company Raven Skull Production.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty
awesome.
much what I do.
Awesome. Where can they find Raven Skull if they ever wanted to? Are you guys on Twitter or?
Not yet on Twitter. I should probably be smart and do things like that, but I don't bother.
Well,
but
hopefully
we do have a SoundCloud.
There you go.
If you go on my Twitter, there's a link to that.
Perfect. There you go. That's what you're looking for. All right. Awesome. Well, everybody, I'm super happy that you were able to join us tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us for yet another improv-heavy 1985 games inspired one-shot where we kind of jump off the rails and make it up as we go. And tonight we had a very cool space western / sci-fi along with what we were trying to run tonight. And tomorrow or next week you might have something that's like maybe just a western, or maybe that's a regular D&D inspired game, or maybe something that's like under the ocean, or it could be anything. And all this again inspired by the deck of stories, which you can go and find on 1985games.com. And if you use, again, 1985.com/p/NotOneFun, you can help support the channel. And so if you see the links below, might make it a lot easier if you just click those. And yeah, so again, if you're watching on YouTube, have a great week. Keep being your best self, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Night.